We've been hearing that more people are being murdered in London than New York. But is this really true? A recent increase in knife crime meant February and March were the first ever months that London had more suspected murders than New York. Taking February, the Met Police opened investigations into 15 deaths, compared to 11 in New York. Now, these suspected murders aren't concentrated in one area. You can see there's a fairly even spread across London. The red dots show those who were stabbed to death, and the blue, those who were shot. Now let's talk about the ages of those killed. We're hearing so much about the rise of youth gang violence, and it's undeniably a big issue for the capital.
Recently in London, there's been like an alarming rate of knife crime and just violence in London, especially in the capital. Obviously, that's what the report was saying. I woke up this morning to like a lot of messages talking about speak on certain things, speak on this, speak on that, and there's people that speak on the RLT situation, this situation, that situation. I think the thing that's really most touching to me and most important to me is this topic, because this topic is kind of close to home for me as well. This is something that like I know friends, I know family, etc. People who've been hurt by knife crime, not just in London, not just any. You know what I'm saying? It's not specifically a location, but right now, you know, it's an increasing rise in London, I previously spoke about this on Twitter, and I remember I briefly went to primary school in London, very briefly. But I could already instantaneously feel the pressure of having to almost protect yourself in numbers and do things in numbers. There's so much violence because there's this sort of need to protect yourself, because it's this, you don't know what to expect when somebody approaches you sometimes. There's this anxiety. There's so many aspects into different things. This topic is like a very complicated issue, because, you know, the timeline I was talking about, how do we resolve knife crime? How do we resolve this? How do we resolve that? Some people are speaking just policy based. Some people are talking about the generational effect, the psychological damage that these kids have, and people involved, and obviously people around the area. You know, taking into account many different factors, whether it be geographical location, class, whatever it may be. There's so many things to kind of put together, and I'm not here to speak about that. I think that's a different conversation for a different day. But I'm kind of here to just express the fact that it's actually very shocking what's happening, and I was thinking to myself, what can I do to help? And me personally, I spend a lot of my time going around schools or going to places, and been fortunate enough to talk to youth, worked with youth last year over the summer, just to work alongside with youth and be with the youth and show them, I don't know, I'd like to say inspire these kids to kind of see differences. You know, I was with a lot of kids last summer, great amazing people, and you know, little things as such where you spend time with people who may be underprivileged, or to people who may be from a specific area, who have not seen the world or may not have perspective on a specific topic. Things like that can really impact a child. As I know that when I was growing up, perspective was my best friend, because the moment I moved away from pressured environments and I understood different perspectives and I was educated better, certain things became clearer to me. And you know, having a source of inspiration or having somebody to look up to is really important for people, especially these kids as well, because there's a lot of young ages committing these crimes, actually hurting people, and there's lots of young people actually getting hurt as well. And it worries me to think, what is the cause? And more importantly, what is the solution? And can there be such a simple solution? And it's very scary to think that if you were just to slap policy, it wouldn't help anything. If you were to say, in an extreme situation, the death penalty, it systematically, is that possible due to the justice system? You know, there's many different things. Like, if you want to consider so many things, it's so hard to come to some sort of resolution to help the matter. And increasingly as it happens, it's like more and more people come up every day, and it's like, it's scary to think that the more we talk about it, it's like the more people are getting killed. So what is really changing? And it's so scary. Like, literally the last week I've heard of this person and this person and this person and this person, and it just keeps totaling. And it shocked me, because like friends of my friends like are getting hurt, family getting hurt, this that getting hurt, like, and you think to yourself, like, who could be next, and like, what could I do to kind of help the progression of this thing? And I'm kind of almost here, like, I'm sorry for speaking so long, but now, like, I just kind of want to say, like, to people, why I briefly explained about spending time with these people. I think what can you do is a question I think everybody has to ask themselves while you're watching this video. What can you do? And I know the one thing that I have influence over is my influence, meaning that where I stand, people are looking up to me. So I have to lead an example, which may not be necessarily easy for me by choice, right? But who's looking up to me and it's considering my actions and stuff? Yes, you can say, people may say, yeah, it's not my fault for this, or it's not, this isn't just the reason for this. For example, there's, a topic that's talked about is drill isn't the reason for violence. But the truth is, can we ignore the impact that glamorization of or romanticizing of these environments has on these kids? Can we ignore the fact that this can desensitize you from reality? But that's a different conversation for a different day. But I think I just kind of wanted to say to people, I think if you're somebody of influence, and I believe everybody has an influence, every single person in the street, there's somebody out there that's looking up to you, looking towards you and watching you and learning from you. And I think looking at everything and every problem, every solution, what can I do? I think that's where it is. And I kind of wanted to share my perspective, my view briefly, but also say to people, if you have an influence, please consider the message you're putting out to the world. Consider all these things, and who are you trying to, in this life, whose life are you trying to make better? Because for a lot of these people, it's lack of knowing that there's something more than what they face, and it causes them to feel boxed in, feel this pressure to commit these things or to be in environments because that's all they know and that's all they believe they can have access to. And it's about educating, enabling people around you to understand that all that's in front of you is not all that you can attain, And for me, of course, that's never going to be a proper solution to everything, but I think it's a factor that plays a key part. Socialization is a key part. It's a key part in, how much hope do I see? It's never that simple. I understand, because these are people's realities. People have to do what they have to do to survive. But I'm kind of just here to say to people, like, please, 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 I think where you can help is by controlling what you can help. Where in your lives, where in the world can you help? Can you talk to somebody? Is that possible? I think that's one thing, that's something I want to do this summer. It's just I want to sort of talk to people and try to get into their minds and understand and give perspective and give hope. I think hope is a big thing, a thing that can change people, and that's kind of what I'm here to talk about. And apologies if my thoughts are not brought well together, but it was just, it makes me, it saddens me to think that these things are kind of happening so regularly, and it happens everywhere. But the way I'm just seeing a new person's dead today, it's like growing up slowly, and you start to think, and your mind races, you start to think who could be next, or what could be next, or where is safe. It causes a thought panic and a moral panic. So it's like there's so many things, and I just want to encourage people, please, wherever you stand, try to make an impact to whoever's around you, and consider that I know that many people may not agree with that, or if you choose to, please agree or disagree, that's up to you. But I understand I have a platform, and I'd love to use it to make change, and even if it be to start conversation, or even if it be to encourage people to talk, because like a lot of things are happening, the mental health issues, man. There's a lot of people that don't even know that they have mental health issues, that they, severe anxiety, people don't know, and these are things that sometimes allow these people to do things that they may not want to do. If ceteris paribus, if all other things were in place, if all things were the same, but I'm sorry for rambling and stuff. It's just really passionate to me. But I just believe that we should try and make a difference where we can, and I want to encourage people to try to do so. A lot of people want to help a lot of things that we never see. For example, a lot of people may not give to somebody on the side of the street, but you're willing to give to somebody else that may be miles and miles away. But sometimes you actually have to make a change exactly where you stand. So consider that and stuff. I don't know, man. I just, yeah, man. Like I'm not really that old, but like sometimes it scares me to think, like by the time you're having kids, how's the world gonna look like? How's your environment gonna look like? And I just know from a child the pressures, the things that you've gone through. I know the pressures, and it's hard because I know that if my environment didn't change, or if I didn't have hope, or if I didn't see hope, it's crazy to think that somebody could have ended up, anybody could have ended up in the path of hurting somebody or feeling or getting hurt. You know, it's scary. And once again, apologies if I don't know if I offend anybody or in wherever or something, or if I dismiss certain things. I'm honestly just trying to think out loud. But like I said, just use your voice where you can. And I believe everybody has an influence. As long as you're alive and you're breathing, you have an influence over somebody else. And so look out for your neighbours. Look out for people, and help give people hope. That's what I can say, man. Yeah, man. It's just yeah, yeah, man. It just kind of saddens me, but I thought I'd just speak on the topic. So I'll catch you guys, anyways. Yeah. Peace.